All right, we are here with the official introduction to DoorDash. What is DoorDash? It's a third-party vendor that moves one item from a store to the customer, merchant to the customer. It's a very simple process, but it could be challenging. And it's simple once you get the information. Just like anything in life, you just read the instructions and you're good to go. A lot of people don't like to read instructions and they're stubborn, like myself, honestly. But do you need experience for DoorDash? No, you do not. It does help, because if you're someone like myself that is skilled in the restaurant industry, customer service, and just retail in general, it does become a lot easier, especially, when you first started and you understand how certain things work. And the reason why I make videos like this to help coach you and teach you and train you to just make better decisions that I made, and all the mistakes, you can surpass all of that, like I said in my previous video. So experience is not necessary, but it does help. And it only helps because you'll make money faster or become more efficient faster. But even with no experience, you can still go out there and kill it. I mean, like, you can make so much money doing DoorDash, and that's all contrary to the circumstances. So let's get into the tools. What kind of tools do you need for DoorDash? Well, for sure, you need a vehicle. Not any vehicle. It would be wise to use a vehicle that gets at least 20 miles per gallon or more. I've seen Dashers with Jeeps. Bad. Unless you're taking huge orders, because you get to deny whatever order you want, and we'll get into that. But we're talking about the tools and what we need to get started to DoorDash. So if you have a good running vehicle, that's the first step. Obviously, you have to have a vehicle or a bike. And again, that's all contrary to your circumstances. So another thing you're going to need, obviously, is a phone. You need the phone. You better have decent service at least. And the phone needs to be easy to operate. You don't want, and look, I'm not saying that if you have a crappy phone or whatever, that it's not going to work out for you. No, it's just going to be a little slower and a lot more challenging. If you're going to be in a business like this, you have to make sure you upgrade certain things that are affordable as time goes on. Not to say that you need to start with it, but as time goes on, you need to become more efficient, which will make you more effective in this market. And the more effective you are, obviously, the more money you're going to make. So, yes, so far, number one, a vehicle. Number two, a phone. That works. That's decent. And that can actually take decent photos too, because we'll get into that as well. Number three, $20. Literally, that's all you need. If you want to get started with DoorDash and you have no gas in your gas tank, obviously, call a friend, borrow $20 if you can, or scrape up some change, because all you have to do is enter, and it doesn't even take $20. Well, nowadays, I mean, with the gas increases, it's like 40 now, but just a couple of dollars just to put, into your tank. And at least, if you could get at least 100 miles off of that one, how much gas you put in your vehicle, you're good to go. And of course, we're talking about tools right now. We're not talking about how you'll be good to go. We'll get into that in latter videos. So now so you got the vehicle, the phone, and a couple of bucks. I would suggest just fill the tank if you can. If not, just throw a couple of bucks in there and you're off to a great start. Number four, hot bags, and have at least 3 that are very durable. What are hot bags? Hot bags are this. These keep your items cool or warm. I'm going to tell you right now, and I don't know if it's a pride issue, because when I first started dashing, I was a little embarrassed. It was embarrassing. I don't know why, because I'm making almost twice as much as people in retail. But it was still kind of humiliating at first for someone that's like myself, that's been in higher positions. And that doesn't mean to, degrade anyone. But I think I was more embarrassed at first because I didn't know how DoorDash operated, and it was a bit humiliating, in my opinion. And not everyone feels like that. Maybe some people are like, I got my freedom, and they understood it right away, but I didn't. The reason why I'm mentioning that is because I didn't bring the bag into the restaurant because I didn't want anyone to see that I was dashing. I didn't even want to tell anyone I was dashing. I didn't want to wear a red shirt while I was dashing because it just felt, a little embarrassing at first. But because of that, the customers were not getting their food warm or kept cool. And you have to use those bags. 80% of the dashers, let me say like 87%, they don't use bags. They just walk in, grab the food, go into their car, put it in there. I see them. I watch them. I wish I was a supervisor because I would correct them, and not in a degrading way, just a more encouraging way. Like, hey, this is someone's food. You might want to keep it warm. You might want to keep it cool. And there's a lot of circumstances where, some people don't have bags and they're, just building their way up. But I've seen the same dashers for months and they never use their bag. And I just don't know why. Maybe they don't want to be spotted as a dasher, or, they're embarrassed, or whatever the case is. But you should absolutely, and the bags are not expensive. You could go to thrift stores and find hot bags. You can order one online for $10. You have to invest in yourself, and we're going to get into that. When you're in an industry like this, you have to treat it as if it is an actual business. And if you haven't ran a business before, this is a perfect tool to learn how to manage money, manage your time, and manage self-discipline. Self-discipline, again, is paramount, and we'll continue. And we'll talk about that later, but we're going to continue. And what's number 5? So we got number 1, a vehicle. Number 2, a phone. Number 3, a couple of bucks. And then number 4, some hot bags. Now you have, what else you need? A brain. Yes. And this thing right here, you need a brain. As long as you have that, you're good to go. So it's a very simple thing with DoorDash. But as we dive into other videos and we go into your training sessions, etc., you're going to understand that there is a lot of mental power that comes into this if you want to stay consistent and do this for real, like long term, full time. I do see some dashers that, because I'm all over the place in all these restaurants working full time, I see some dashers that are actually behind the counter working. And I understand, gas is outrageous, but you can still make it even with these gas prices. It doesn't matter. You can still make money full time. I'm still doing it, literally. And gas is expensive. It costs like $68 to fill my tank. And versus about $20 to $36, a few months ago. No big deal. It is what it is. In my head, the way I see it, when times get tough, just learn how to make more money. That's just how it is. And as easy as I may make it seem, it is easy once you understand that it's easy, and then you'll allow your brain and everything else to flow into emotion. Is the United States of America. There's money to be made everywhere. I'm not sitting here trying to patronize anyone. I'm just trying to tell you that if you have these 5 tools, man, you are solid good to go. So when you're on the road and you're dashing and stuff, and a key element besides the 5 I just gave you is self-discipline, tracking your mileage, and gas. These are like, once you have those 5 elements, I would suggest that you start working on your self-discipline, like saving your money and don't spend it on food. Pack your food, because at first I was spending money. And I was just like, oh, man, that smells so good. And I was just trying different restaurants because you smell all this food and it's just like it's in your car and you become hungry. But then after a while, I just started fasting, and it did help control my self-discipline, because now I won't eat from 10 p.m. to 2 p.m. the next day. I will not touch food, just water and maybe some coffee. That really helped shrink my stomach per se. I'm not a doctor or anything, but yeah, it did help lessen my appetite throughout the day, so I'm not tempted to eat, what I smell. It's just like, it's really easy. But packing your food does help as well, because I have my food packed, and after 2 o'clock, I'm just like going at it. So that self-discipline is going to help you, because if you really think about it, if you're on the road and you're spending $1 a day, that's going to be $30 a month. $2 a day is $60 a month. $3 a day, $90 a month. And it just keeps adding up. So the more you keep spending, if you're spending $10 a day, you're $300 a month in the hole from just eating food, when you could have spent about $50 to supplement all that food for the month. Okay, maybe not $50. Well, no, $50 if you're packing lunches and Okay, let's consider today's inflation. So let's say about even $100 a month. If you just get the right tools as far as food to make sure you have the energy and everything that you need, this is how you're going to save money. This is how you're going to help yourself with the self-discipline. And you don't want to be spending money as you're making it. It's like, it's no different from a business owner, because you are a business owner now. If you work for DoorDash, you are now considered a business owner, and you better believe it. And I'm going to teach you why. But it's like working at a restaurant. You own the pizza shop, but you keep eating everything. You keep eating your own resources, and it's just like you keep feeding everyone. It's like, here, have this, have that. And like, although you should be feeding your cooks and your employees, but you just can't go off the rail. You have to somehow have some kind of self-control, because you want this to be long-lasting. You want it to last as long as you can. Now, for someone like me, I have dreams that are bigger than this earth. And there's so many things I want to do. So doing DoorDash, it frees me up to working on my hobbies, working on my child's growth, so I can invest in her, so she has a great growth in society. And there's a lot of things. Not everyone can do it, obviously. There's some people that don't want to do it. But for people who are interested in this industry, I would suggest that you just keep watching and look out for the next videos, because it's coming. So another little quick tool you want to have when you're first starting a Dash, and this is very simple. So look, if you want to start DoorDash, and if you pick up your phone and you say, I want to DoorDash, what do I have to do? Very simple. Vehicle that gets at least 20 miles per gallon or more. And if you got any more than that, that's awesome, because you're saving a crap load of money. All right. A phone with decent service, and make sure the phone is easily operational, not broken, and like you can't, press a certain button because the screen is cracked. Invest in yourself and make sure you have these tools that are at least decent to use. Same thing with your car. Make sure that, the tires are rotating, and, get tires rotating. But no, I mean, just in general, the oil changes. You want to make sure that you're staying on top of your investment, because you and yourself, right? Self-discipline, your body is your investment, because you want to be in a right mindset, and you want to do this. Like, you want to run a business. This is it. I promise. So vehicle, phone, some money to put in a gas tank, hot bags that are durable, and a brain that's in your head. So you got the 5 main elements, and then you have the side things that you will need as well. Obviously, self-discipline. You absolutely need that. Start working on self-discipline and making sure that you don't just impulsively buy things while you're out because it's there and you have the money. No. All that money that comes into DoorDash is not your money. Use that money as the business's money. Right? You got to feed the business. You got to keep the lights on, which is your roof. You got to keep the car running. Do not spend that money until you know all your bases are covered. And if you want to build a reserve, look, I'm not a financial expert, but if you want to build a reserve, that's beautiful. Even do it. Just do it. So you need those things, self-discipline, and then tracking your mileage and gas. You're going to need that for the end of the year. And we're going to get into that in another video, as I said. But I use Mile IQ, and anyone that's working on Earth in general, well, anyone that's working in the United States, you need to track your miles when you go to and from work, because you could get if you're working a full-time 9 to 5, and you have to drive like 10 miles a day per se, and back home, or have to run errands for the company. Track your miles. Download Mile IQ. I'm not getting paid for it. I just use it. I think it's a great system, and it tracks every single thing. And then you report that to the IRS, and you could get yourself a nice $1,000 deductible, or even $1,000 back from. I mean, it all depends on how much gas you're using and how far you're traveling. But the point is that. And specifically with DoorDash, you have to track your miles first of all, and I would use Mile IQ. And if you're not working for DoorDash and you're just doing a 9 to 5 or 10 to 4, whatever, you should still be tracking your miles, because it costs money, obviously. And then Upside, I use Upside for gas. It's not really to save money on gas, because a lot of the times it's like 1 cent, and you hear people that are like, oh, get Upside. It's just like, dude, I'm not saying 16 cents. Thanks. It's great. But it is useful, because when you use Upside, it saves all your receipts as far as how much gas you got. and the price. So you'll be able to use that in case of an audit when you're declaring your gas and your taxes. Now, again, I'm not an expert with finances, but there's a lot of information you could pick from me. Pick my brain. So we have the vehicle, phone, money, hot bags, brain in your head, self-discipline, and some apps to keep your miles and your gas tracked. That's literally it. So the next video we're going to do, we're going to start putting you on the road and training how to take each order, how to use the app. I know that DoorDash has some training videos on there, but it's just easier to listen to someone like myself that's in the industry, that's actually making money, that's actually one of the top dashers, and that's actually got so many rides under his belt in such a small period of time. And it's a successful venture. So I just can't help myself but to share this information. And that about does it for this segment in the introduction. And tomorrow we are going to dive in on how to actually dash, how much money there is in the market per dash, how much you could potentially make. And specifically, I just can't wait to talk about the customers and how to order DoorDash, because I think that's going to be some powerful information, because people just don't understand how we get paid, how the scale works. And, you know, you get a lot of deliveries where people won't tip, and it's like, it's easy to become bitter off of, obviously, any of my friends and people and family that's been in the restaurant industry. When you get stiffed, it sucks. But it sucks even more when you're driving a car while people are in the comfort of their home and they don't even want to tip you. Do you have to take the order? Absolutely not. And we're going to talk about why you don't have to take the order, because you are an independent contractor. You are not employed through DoorDash. You are working for yourself. Like I said, you are a business owner if you're working for DoorDash or any kind of gig economy like that. So let's teach you how to run your business, run your life. And most importantly, enjoy your life. This is financial freedom. That's not true. This is actually freedom. It could lead up to financial freedom, don't get me wrong, and that's all contrary to your circumstances. But I just didn't want to say, oh, it's financial freedom, and, you know, try to mislead people into believing like, oh, you're going to become a millionaire or something. No, that's not true. But you could make a lot of money. I mean, you could make up to $60,000 a year doing DoorDash, working on your time. And there's so much to digest and unpack. But I thank you for coming back. Stick around. Tomorrow we're going to come up with another video. We're going to start training you how to DoorDash. And if it's not tomorrow, it'll probably be the next day, due to my little circumstances. But, you know, I'm here to coach you and help you out. If you guys want to subscribe, leave a comment, I would love to hear your feedback on even the smallest information I just gave you right now. And I know a lot of this is like, oh, where's the substance? And I'm just trying to build it up to that point. Actually, I am. Stick around.